I would say the British media probably does reflect a relatively negative view of Pakistan, partly because of the Afghan war, partly because of racial prejudice. There's a long history of prejudice against Pakistani immigrants, possibly got better, actually, if anything, in terms of domestic attitudes. But yes, I would say they don't have a sunny view of Pakistan. You know, 9/11 was a pretty devastating moment for the world and for Islam and for perceptions of the Muslim faith. I would describe most American news as ambulance chasing. Basically, it's extremely domestic. Very few people in America would have much idea about Pakistan, whatever the media have to say about it. America is its own world. They've got their own deserts, valleys, mountains, ice caps. So they don't sort of need the rest of us. And so they live within this cocoon. And therefore, trying to discuss Pakistan or even Afghanistan, where they have hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of troops, is not easy. I think Britain, because it's a tiny place, which has enjoyed an enormous empire in the past, is much more at ease with discussing international issues and international events. And we have a much more diverse population in a funny sort of way. And therefore, there is much more information about what's going on in foreign parts. We have a huge Pakistani diaspora here, and therefore it's perfectly reasonable that we should invest in Pakistan. Our two-way relationship is pretty key. And I think, secondly, the imperial hangover means that we still have enormous influence in Pakistan. And one way of developing our own trade is actually aid. If you aid a country to develop, there's a good chance they'll trade with you when that aid delivers jobs, capacity, know-how. So I think it's pretty natural that the British government should invest very heavily in aiding Pakistan. It's a troubled country because it's right on the frontier of Western interests in Afghanistan, and I think that's made life very difficult. It's also a country which has suffered natural disasters, earthquakes, floods, and is also to some extent a victim of the division of India and Pakistan back at the end of the 1940s, which probably wasn't done in the most brilliant way imaginable. Terrible loss of life, awful division of families and the rest of it. Undoubtedly, Western interference in the region generally, from Iraq right through to Pakistan, has made life very difficult. The trouble is that the interference in Afghanistan and Pakistan was a result of 9/11 and the interference that represented in America. People are interested in Imran Khan because of his cricketing past and because of his political presence. And I'm not sure that that's necessarily a discussion about Islam. It's a discussion about somebody who appears to be rather an interesting individual who is trying to do something for his country. I think we do get coverage of other things, natural disasters, the relationships between families and the rest of it. I don't think it is all negative. To be honest, I'd have said the greatest criticism of news coverage of Pakistan is there isn't enough.